Alright, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. We're gonna try, let's see, we're gonna start off at 10 speed. No, we're gonna start off at 8 speed and just see how things go and see if we can get a record, a personal record. We'll see how it goes. But we might be quiet for the whole time because you know that going 8 speed and 10 speed basically requires us to breathe really heavy. Yesterday we concluded that going 10 minutes at 10 speed was very difficult. So we're only at 3 minutes at 8 speed. I wonder what happens. All I know is that we're breathing through our nose quite heavily already. And it's really hard to talk. It seems like going 10 speed today is a lot harder. Unfortunately, today's a fail. We're going back to 6 speed. We didn't even do 10 speed for 2 minutes straight. So much saliva. Interesting. We went back to 6 speed. Today's stairs seems really heavy. I can't even walk at 6 speed. No, I can't even walk at 10 speed for 5 minutes. Failed again. It seems like 10 speed's kind of the duration issue. 8 speed's alright. But the moment we move to 10 speed, it's a lot more harder. It's like the slight chill increase somehow makes the body move differently. I wanna hold on. I really can't talk. The machine's gonna slow itself down soon. Well, yeah, literally using my hands right here. The heart rate's 177. Yeah. My shirt, look, holding the rails here just takes off so much pressure. This is cheating. Okay, 2 minutes left. Catch my breath. Well, it turns out if I lean forward a bit, this makes it kind of easier. If I stand up straight like this, it's hard. Wait a minute. Leaning a bit forward kind of activates my legs more. I probably look stupid, back straight. Okay, now it's like, can't breathe. Okay, there's 5 more minutes. I'm not sure if we are gonna beat yesterday or not. Because today, we went at like 6 speed multiple times. Okay, there's 6 minutes left, but now I have to give my word. We're gonna just continue to rest at 10 speed because we're not allowed to die. So now it's up to my body. My mind can easily do this. 5 minutes of spacing out and breathing, no problem. And I gave my word already, so it's too late. I gave my word. 5 minutes left. No touching rails. No slowing down. Only thing that can stop me is my body and heart. Your mind controls your body. Your mind controls your body. So if you're strong body, strong mind. Strong mind, strong body. Sure, I want to quit this thing, but do I need to? No. Do I want to finish this? No. But do I need to finish this? Yes. Why? Because I gave my word. I mean, yesterday we kind of broke it already, ish. So 400 calories done. 20 seconds left. Due to the stats being really weird, I'm gonna have to slow it down instead of pausing it. Okay, here's the stats. This thing's still moving, but it's okay. There you go. 158. 158. 407. Okay, we can finally pause it now. But there you go. There you go. I'm not sure if that was an improvement from yesterday or not. But 158. Again, I'm not really sure if that was better than yesterday, but one thing I do know is that yesterday was a lot harder. Today was a lot more easier. I think because today we had small amount of breaks, and also perhaps it's because I gave my word, and my word is one of the most ultimate tools to use. Remember, we still have a spare shirt, so therefore we're going to quickly change up as well. Coolios. Now we're going to stretch and then change into that dry shirt and then continue the rest of the day. Again, I'm not sure how much of an improvement that is from yesterday. I'll need to have a little look. But I know that we held onto the rails a lot less and we pushed ourselves. But you know, as much as I say it's hard, the running was still overall the hardest, I would say. Mainly because I think it's because we're jiggling a lot more. Anyways, let's stretch and then probably change into a drier shirt. So water to drink as well. And the overall business that we do. Overall though, not bad. I think that might have been the PR personal best. We can definitely go faster, by the way. Like we did 10 minutes for a long time, but we also took like six speed breaks and holding onto the rail for at least maybe 1 minute around while checking the heart rate. But that's okay. Overall, I still count that as successful. It's only up to tomorrow. No, it's only up to until I see the footage again and see compare it from the previous day. And who knows, maybe tomorrow we do it even faster. Never felt more drier. And this time I got a bigger Ziploc bag. So now we can put in the mask, and the shirt. Like that. There you go. You know what? Super dry now. It's nice. And plus, I went to the other spot, so it was like a low dryer, so it blew me, and then nice and dry. Rightio. Now that we're dry, we can use the leg press without, so much sweat. Okay, I think today we're gonna redo the same as last week, but this time we're gonna actually use the sitting leg curl instead, and we're gonna do the lunges properly because last week the camera deeply fell down, but this time should be right. I mean, yeah, we could do hip thrusts, but we could do hip thrusts next week. By the way, it's only what, the 12th? No, it's only the 13th of January. And didn't I say, like, at the beginning of the year, people would stop coming? And, like, it seems like that theory or that prediction was true because today's golden hour is beautiful. Well, not the best, but not complaining. It's still one digit. Anyway, when I went to go change the shirt, I kind of realized that a lot of the people that are parked here are just in the showers, just chilling. Free hot water, I guess. Well, kind of free hot water. One, the last time I used this City Fitness showers was, shut up. I need to do this. Wait, shut up. Talk during the break, not. I swear this leg press thing's too close. It is. Yeah. The last time I used the City Fitness showers, they have like a limiter on the showers and it sucks. The pressure is really bad and there's like a limiter on hot water, so it's not. It seems like the phone stopped recording somewhere. I can't remember when, but apparently it stopped recording somewhere. So I talked about the showers. I don't think it caught any of my shower talk, but that's okay. It's quite irrelevant, really. I'm gonna have to wash that. Fuck's sake. That's what happened last time when the phone broke. Wow, we're literally on 4 5s and still haven't finished the water bottle yet. My back's really wet. It's alright. Today we're gonna do more videos, and then we're also gonna do more cooked earth, and we're gonna, yeah, that's really about it to be honest. What doesn't help is that we're still sweating. That's alright. Probably because the weather's still really hot, and also because long hair. Should definitely need to cut the hair. I have to go bald one day. One day I'll be bald. That'd be pretty cool. Not really afraid of being bald. I don't know. People are afraid, but like, what kind of bald person is weird? You got, Sensei. You've also got the other Sensei. No, well, you've got Sensei. You got Saitama. I literally can't think of any other bald dude. Literally, what other bald dude is there besides Top G and Saimata? What else is there? Straight up, like, who else is bald? Jeff Bezos? G? Who else is bald? I don't even know who else would be bald. Can't think of anyone else besides those three. Johnny Sins? Yeah, he's bald. Sorry, I was just thinking about all the bald people. And Sterling Cooper, he's bald too. Who else is bald? Bro, every single bald person I've named is pretty G. Tyler One? Bro, everyone who's bald is a G. Tell me, tell me what kind of weird person is bald? None. Literally every single person I'm naming is a G who's bald. You know what I mean? The monks? Yeah, well, they don't really count. Bro, literally every single bald person I've named so far is top of the game. Like, what is it there? You straight up got. I can't think of any kind of YouTuber that's bald. but you know, it's not bad. Everyone I've named is not bad. Everyone I've named is pretty G. Okay, finally, we could finally use the leg curl. I don't know how long it's been since we've used a leg curl, but apparently someone said it was decent, so we still gotta eat the banana, we still gotta do the lunges, and we still gotta drink the water. We ate rice yesterday, but I'm gonna have to lower the calories today. Because yesterday I ate like another piece of meat off camera. It was like a pork belly piece of meat. Can't calculate it, so I'm just gonna. It's alright. Okay, leg curl. I don't think I really use this machine much. It's been a while since I've used this thing. I think it's because it hits my bottom ankle quite hard. It's not soft. Yeah, it literally hits my. It's hitting this part of my leg. It's like pressing against it, and it's annoying as hell. Doesn't feel very nice. It's like pressing against the muscle. Maybe I'm not doing it right. Only 20 weight. Should probably eat that banana now too. It's probably squished under everything. It literally is squished. Is there a bin nearby? There is. Here's the banana. This banana sucks. It's so dead. It's so starchy and like fermented. Probably pretty nasty, not gonna lie. These are nasty. Sorry. No. That banana was probably pretty nasty, not gonna lie. Oh no. It was alright, but it was alright. Can't complain too much. It wasn't like bad. It was just starchy and slightly fermented, but it's alright. Now we gotta do a whole bunch of water. And we gotta do lunges soon. I just realized that we haven't really been talking much any topics recently. I feel like we talk about the topics like near the end of the videos. I think it's because during the middle of the videos we are busy eating bananas, drinking water, and talking about the progress. But besides that though, I actually can talk about the Cooked Earth series on the video now because we are doing it. But so far in Cooked Earth, episode 3 is uploading. Well, it's uploaded. My new strategy for the ARC series is I just use timestamps so you guys can at least, instead of like logging it, no, it's like I technically just log it via the YouTube time frame thing, timestamps. So it's a lot. So instead of me like reading it out loud on a voice note, I'll just type it down, and you guys can skim the video and see what I do. And if you want to watch it, you can watch it. You know, it's not bad. So far, the series is pretty good. A lot of chaos. I think that's why I like ARC so much, to a degree. Hold on, shut up. I think that's why I like ARC so much at the beginning. It's because it's all about the journey and the progress, and that's like the most. I would say the best part about ARC is just the progress. But of course, once you continue playing ARC and you get OP, it gets pretty mundane fast. It's like the natural objective to survive and build from the very beginning is the most exciting part. But once you get too strong, it's like, oh, now it's boring. It's all about the journey. And from my first recording of the island, I still have all the footage with me, but I really do just prefer my current method, which is just being me barely editing, probably editing out just the bathroom break. But besides that, though, I keep everything else on the video, and it's pretty good. I like it. It's good. It's a good series to do. And what else is there? I still haven't done the webtoon thing yet, and I still have this AI video idea I have. It was a brief conversation with an AI, and I'm gonna have to voice over it. I don't know. I rarely do reading. The thing about me is that I really don't do reading off scripts. Like, that's just not what I usually do. I don't really read scripts or anything. I feel like it's when I read, my my tone and my tone and just like speaking doesn't really feel natural. Either I'm terrible at reading out loud, or it's like my natural flow of just me talking is significantly better than me reading off the script. Because when I just speak normally, it just comes out naturally with its own personality, right? But reading off a script feels like I don't know, maybe it depends. But I'm gonna have to voice over the AI's tone. This machine's not bad, I guess. It definitely is working the hamstrings to a degree. Kind of. Yeah, I think a lot of the voiceovers are more for Anon accounts, I swear. Well, yeah, because the Anon accounts rely on their voice and gameplay, whereas people with face cams don't really need to rely on that because I think the expression is more on just the face and just different ecosystem. And then next we do lunges with a efficiency. Is there any other topics to talk about? I feel like we've covered like so many topics already. And well, I just repeat the same old ecosystems, no light without dark, black and white, gray, balance, matrix, you know? All that jazz that you guys should know already. I already talked about assets, you know. I already talked about how the world works. And yeah, it's like we've already talked about a lot of the things. Alright, we're gonna have to go find a stick. And we're gonna go do some lunges. I feel like here's the most optimal spot for lunges. It gives me like a nice clearing, but I need to go find a stick. It seems like there's like literally no sticks in sight. Like somehow I think they all went into the other studio part. That's alright. Alright, we'll just be using this thing then. Emergency exit. Okay, we'll be applying it efficiency. This thing's like, the foam's hard, somehow. We actually still have to finish the water. We haven't actually done that yet. However, golden hour is just so good. I reckon I can put this thing right here. That's how strong golden hour is right now. Literally just 3 people. So, golden hour is pretty good today. That's surprising. Matter of fact, one surprising thing is that even on January, at the beginning of the New Year's, the people were like so little. It's nearly been 2 weeks since the Brokey New Year, and people already stopped coming. Perhaps I'm wrong. Perhaps I'm wrong, and people just come at a different date. Maybe it's because not many people come at this time of the day, anyways. And coming at this time of the day wouldn't require a simple calendar or date. You come here to come here. That's it. This thing's not long enough. It's like it barely. Usually, I would have. Yeah, this thing's barely long enough, but it'll do. It'll do for now. It's not too bad. Lunges are still so good. I think I remembered on YouTube there was like some guy who was literally doing lunges with like 3 plates. No, 6 plates. Three on each side. And I was like, damn, that's impressive. Water's done. So we have to go check our weight. Which means I have to go travel all the way down there. Matter of fact, we can always check our weight near the end. We'll check our weight near the end. It's not like we're gonna. Yeah, it's fine. We'll stay here for now. I'm just gonna quickly double check if you're recording or not. Yeah, you sure are. Cool. Yeah, again, there's nothing to talk about. Can't think of any topics. What kind of topics even are there? Because like it just really depends on the ecosystem and context. That's why I mean we when we talk about the stories we did yesterday were pretty interesting, if I remembered correctly. Wait, I can only remember 2 stories from yesterday. One was about a dog sitter who almost got human trafficked, and then the other story was about some loggers, you know, getting rid of trees in the forest. And then what was the first one? Oh yeah, and then like some hallucinating bartender thought that she saw old couple at the bar. I don't know, all those stories didn't make sense. Really hard to get much lessons from it. I think what we have established that is that when you're in like the forest or just in the wild, or maybe just in general public, one of the most dangerous creatures is not a bear or moose. It's a human because humans are significantly more unpredictable. By the way, this like rubber metal thing I'm using is actually heavier than a normal stick. This thing's like maybe 1 to 2 kgs, you know? Got a gun. Oh, there's an Apache. Boom. No, you know, and then you just shoot the rocket. Something like that. Shouldn't really play with it too much. It's very heavy and it might damage the wrist if I try do maneuvers with it, considering that it's heavier, wider, more prone to more prone to damaging my wrist if I do something stupid. Like if I spin it, it's too heavy and it might the momentum might cause some. Yeah, let's just not do that. It's all good, so okay, 4 5s, and then we do calves, and that should be about it. It looks like people are coming in now. Is golden hour becoming gold half hour? Maybe. Oh, yeah, I recently learned how to use cruise control on a car. It's kind of OP to a degree, but also sucks. It really just depends on the scenario, obviously. But cruise control seems like it's good for like stupid traffic, slow motorway. That's when cruise control comes in handy. But if you're like racing, well, yeah, I think I ever use cruise control is only for like traffic. It's like if it's really really heavy traffic, then you would use it. No, like really really slow crawling traffic. But besides that, I say no, the use is for cruise control. Maybe long road trips, cruise control might work. Maybe actually, it depends. But usually, when I do long road trips, I don't I don't stay at one speed. I try to overtake as much as I can because at least it gives me something to do. We haven't gone on a long solo trip in a while. Don't have a reason to. There's nothing to do. There really is like nothing to do. Could go I actually can easily go traveling to like a new country, but like don't really need to right now. Maybe when I find like a camera person, maybe, but not right now. In the future, I'm sure we'll like travel, right? But what am I gonna do? I think it's because when I travel, I'm gonna be stuck to calisthenics. There's not gonna be any gyms, and I'm gonna have to figure out a system to continue doing our regime and stuff. Righty ho. We're gonna do the carbs and then check the weight, and that really should be about it. Yeah, there's not really much to talk about. We're just gonna finish the carbs and then check the weight, and then that's about it. Go back to HQ, Alpha 3 regime, then eat food, and then do some editing. I did a lot of the editing work yesterday, so today's editing should be significantly back to normal, and then do the dips and pull-ups, and then after that we got some time to do some Mr. Nightmare. We got time to do Cooked Earth, and then we've also got extra time to not really sure actually. Now I think about it, we got time to do Scorched Earth, but I feel like each episode should be around 2 to 4 hours. But I think maximum is like 3 hours we can do for Scorched Earth. Or we can do more. It doesn't really matter. For Ark, we are going to be playing Ark for a long time, by the way. I literally spent like, how much money did I spend? Like 200 New Zealand dollars on the whole entire Ark DLCs and things. And we're only like 2 maps out of 4 on the normal one. And then we've also got Ark Ascended, which is the other one. A lot of worlds. But, each playthrough is going to be quite interesting. Obviously, we're going to switch things up. And yeah. Besides that, though, we could do action games, but I don't know. Action games are kind of just wouldn't. I feel like action games are kind of mid. Kind of. Really depends. It's because action games have like no story, no progress. It's just definitely think about League again, but nah. StarCraft 2 is also quite nice, but I haven't played it in so long, and I haven't even been bothered to download it. Matter of fact, my reminders literally said StarCraft 2 like months ago, but I just haven't been bothered. Yeah, Minecraft's not a good. Minecraft's too. I'm too good at that game. Yeah, Minecraft, I'm too good at the game. Matter of fact, that means we should do hardcore. Matter of fact, I am thinking about doing some hardcore, but I'm pretty sure in my past I did hardcore Minecraft, but with the controller on the Xbox, and that thing's way too hard. Bro, I literally cannot do Minecraft on the controller, especially on hardcore. It's way too difficult. But then when I go on PC, I'm way too speedy and careless. And the objective would be just what? Get the Ender Dragon. That's pretty easy. You just get lots of bows and arrows and water. and just run around. It's more about like just building bases. The only problem with Minecraft is that you'll literally spend like 3+ hours just finding a spot just to never go back to it again. It just depends. What else is there? I haven't really watched many YouTubers, so new games would be brand new to me. One tip when you play games is you don't want to watch YouTubers. Unless you're trying, wait, no. If you don't want to play the game yourself, no, okay, if you're a consumer, then, feel free to watch as many YouTube videos as possible. But if you're a producer, you really don't want to spoil the things for yourself. Why would you consume someone else's content of a game when you could play it yourself and create and produce? Final destination is the scale, and then that's really about it. It looks like golden hour is no longer here. It really does seem like our golden hour. There's like an actual gap in the golden hour. It's like if we come 1 hour earlier, we'll see everyone, and if we stay 1 hour longer, we'll see another wave. All right, let's check our weight. I don't even know where. We ate rice yesterday morning, so I expect heavy or not. 69.35. Interesting. Thought we would be heavier. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate it again. Oh yeah, I completely forgot that we did the steer thing today. They just blew past my mind because I completely forgot. But yeah, we're done. Appreciate it again for you guys watching again. And yeah, we're gonna continue the 10 stories. We're gonna continue doing Cooked Earth, and maybe if I find something else.
Alright, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's nighttime now, but I was gonna give you guys one story today. Just one, a little short one today. We didn't do any cooked earth today. I was too busy looking at this entire series called Lovers War. I looked at it, did some analysis with deep AI about it, ecosystem stuff. Anyways, that's not the point of the video. Story 4. We're only gonna do this story and then yeah, that's it. Let's just do it. Alright, here we go. Story 4 by Kevin.
This happened last summer. I was 20 years old.
20 years old.
My name is Kevin.
Kevin.
My friend James comes from a very wealthy family. His dad is like an IP lawyer who contracts with the US government or something. They've got a bunch of properties all over the country and a handful of international ones too. That's the kind of wealth I'm talking about. One of their houses is on a relatively large but overall pretty secluded lake. The lake itself isn't so big that you can't see the houses on the other side of it, but it would be a workout and a half swimming across the whole thing. James' parents were never around, so he pretty much had unlimited access to that house, and he often invited friends over, with permission of course. There's something about being out on the lake that makes you feel invincible. It's a different feeling than the beach for sure.
It's hard to say that, not gonna lie. It really just depends on the lake, honestly. Because, like, it could be a good lake, it could be a bad lake. And again, it depends on how many people are nearby as well. And, like, what kind of lake, you know what I mean?
Not really sure how to explain it, but there's more of an exclusive vibe to it. Hopefully, I can be successful enough to afford one day. Like I said, the lake itself is pretty secluded. Big fancy houses line the perimeter, but most of them would usually sit dark and empty. A lot of them were vacation homes for people who barely even used them. It's honestly kind of a shame.
Again, it really depends on the lake, and it really depends on the context, because, for example, you could have it depends on the neighborhood and the lake, because some lakes are built around rich estates, and therefore the rich estate, the neighborhood itself has a gate and like a natural security, like you can't even access the house lake without going through a gate compound. Like that's how advanced some of these elite neighborhoods are. But then you've also got those crappy lake houses that are like open to public, maybe next to a wildlife park, or like just really depends the context. Without context, it's hard, but we can assume that. Well, we'll see what happens in the story, but you have to. It really depends on the context of the lake and just the neighborhood itself, because sometimes a lake house, it's hard because it really depends. Is the lake connected to a stream? Can people access it with a riverboat? You know what I mean? Like, a lot of things to keep in mind. It's okay.
Thinking about it. There are upsides to that though. James would throw the craziest parties there because there were usually no neighbors to call the police. This night was different though. It was just the two of us, having a more chill night. I won't get into it, but I had just broken up with my girlfriend of 3 years and I was in dire need of some bro time. We were having a few beers out on the dock when I noticed a light flicking across the lake. I can't remember exactly what time it was. At first, I thought it was just the sun perfectly reflecting off something into...
Again, really, really depends on the type of lake, because sometimes some lakes are connected to like a river. Like sometimes a river flows into the lake and out of the lake. And therefore people like public, fishermen, anyone with a boat can just travel into the lake, And it really just depends on the lake itself, because sometimes if it's like a wild lake, straight up someone can just park into the forest, grab a little kayak or something and just start fishing in your lake. Like people do that.
My eye. But even when I moved my head to the side, I could still see it. It was flashing like someone was turning a light on and off repeatedly. I told James, and the two of us became fixed on it, trying to figure out what it could be.
Strobe light on a boat.
At some point, we realized the flashing wasn't random. It was following a pattern. 3 short bursts, followed by 3 longer ones, followed by 3 short ones. I guess I'm dumb for not knowing this, but James snapped his fingers and said it was Morse code. I looked at him like he was crazy, and asked him when in the world he had learned Morse code.
You're right.
He told me he didn't actually know it, but he knew what 3 short, 3 long, 3 short meant. SOS.
Oh.
I called BS and pulled out my phone, but to my surprise, he was actually right. Like I said, maybe I'm dumb for not knowing that, but I'm not really one for obscure knowledge anyway. The flashing continued for another minute or so, following that same pattern, before stopping abruptly. The two of us had just been staring at it the whole time. I really didn't know what to think. It could have been a joke, but there was always that chance that someone was actually in trouble. James immediately suggested calling the cops, but I reminded him that we'd been drinking and we weren't legal yet.
I thought 20 years old is legal, no? I guess not. I guess 20 years old is not legal enough to drink. I
honestly fighting a DUI charge at the time, so the last thing I needed was another run-in with the police. He wasn't thrilled about that answer, and I could tell he was torn about the situation. The two of us couldn't really think of a rational explanation.
That's kind of sad, eh? Call the police. Nah, I'm drunk. I mean, it's not really a problem. I guess to a degree, it's not really a problem. And you know, it is what it is. Am I tripping or this is Mr. True Nightmares, not Mr. Nightmares?
Besides a kidnapping or something along those lines. We thought it might have been someone who had fallen and needed help, but that didn't make any sense because they probably would have just called the police. We've always been those adventurous, delinquent type guys, so we decided it was worth checking out ourselves. If it turned out to be serious, we'd call the police then. We went back inside. James' brother had a bunch of switchblades lying around his room.
What?
He was kind of a weird kid. So we grabbed a few of them just for peace of mind. James said he was good to drive, and that we should drive.
What? But you're drinking, Gigi. You're gonna go investigate it. Should have just called the police. Like,
drive around the lake to that house, but I told him I really wasn't comfortable with that for obvious reasons. He joked about my situation, and I laughed it off. If we weren't driving, there was only really one other option. The two of us walked back out to the yard and dragged James' dad's kayak into the water. We were laughing.
you might as well just call the police at this point. You don't have to do all this. You really don't have to do all this.
At first, enjoying the adventure of it all, but the further out we got onto the lake, the quieter we got. I think both of us realized how dumb of an idea it was, but neither of us wanted to be the one to spoil the fun. The sun had almost fully set at that point, and it was getting harder to see. It wasn't pitch black or anything. We had light from some of the lake houses to guide us, but it was still a bit unsettling. As we got closer, the house came into view. It was big like the others, but it was obviously not maintained very well. For starters, the dock was half collapsed, literally. Half of it was just sunken into the water. The flashing had also stopped, which was kind of a bad sign too. We had planned on just tying the kayak to the dock, but we obviously couldn't do that anymore given how unstable it looked.
You know what'd be crazy? Imagine you're like you're the opposite person of the story. You played with a little flashlight, right? Like kids imagine if it's like an abandoned thing, kids playing with a flashlight or like some kind of light. Let's do Morse code. And then two dudes just come to you with a kayak. It's like, oh crap, hold on now. Like if you swap this scenario, this is probably scary as hell. Like, hold on now, you're playing for flashlight, trolling, and now two dudes in a kayak appeared at your dock. Get the guns out, protect yourself. Who the hell are these people?
Luckily, the yard wasn't too high up above the water, so we beached the kayak on the yard instead,
Bro,
careful not to slip on the rocks.
They really invaded the other person's house. Okay.
I felt the adrenaline rush start coming on. I could tell James was feeling the same thing. We looked up toward the house. The light had been coming from the second floor, that much we knew. James was freaking out at that point and insisted that we just leave and call the police.
Yeah.
I told him we'd have to kayak all the way back to his house to even do that, as there was no service on the lake and that we need to connect to Wi-Fi. I reminded him that we had explored 1 million abandoned buildings before, and this wasn't too different. He wasn't thrilled with that logic, but agreed anyway. Believe me, I know how dumb this was. Everyone I talk to about this shares that same opinion, but I've never been one to make good decisions, and neither is James. We didn't walk to the front door. That would have been suicide. Instead, we
What?
crept around the house until we found a window that was unlocked.
What? Yo. This is crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Imagine if you were the other person. Two dudes in a kayak show up in your backyard. They hopped onto your dock. Two grown-ass men who are drunk as well, with switchblades, and instead of knocking at your front door, they're gonna climb through a window. You're basically just burglars at this point, no? Like,
The two of us silently slipped inside.
they
The
went
house
inside.
was empty. Not just abandoned, but empty. Like stripped. There was no furniture and no junk in there either. To be frank, there was no signs that anyone had ever even lived there.
Oh, okay.
The floors and walls were completely bare. We moved cautiously through the rooms, looking for the stairs. There was no one in sight, and all the rooms were just as empty as the first one had been. We finally found the stairs and slowly made our way up.
Okay, if there was light coming from the house, either the kids have left or someone's waiting for you and they're about to just jump you.
I had made a mental note of where the window was, and we slowly walked down one of the hallways until we got to what I guessed was the room the light had been coming from. I pressed my ear against the door and heard nothing. I glanced over at James. He nodded, and I carefully pushed the door open.
What?
The room was empty, with the exception of one thing by the window. I tiptoed over to it and realized what it was. It was one of those old projectors, and it was facing the window. Alarm bells immediately started going off in my
It's a trap.
head. This was a trap. Someone had set this up deliberately. James must have realized the same thing, because I just heard him start sprinting back the way we had came, not even trying to be quiet. I turned without another thought and followed him. As we were running down the stairs, I heard a door, presumably a closet door, swing open from the room I had just been in, followed by rapid thumping sounds. We bolted down the stairs and back through the house to that first window. James jumped through and I was next. As I was climbing through, I heard those footsteps from behind me again, bounding down the stairs. I didn't even look. I just made it through the window and ran to catch up with James, who was already down by the lake's edge. As I was running to catch up to him, I heard him curse, and I quickly realized why. The kayak was gone. I turned, and from
How is that? Huh. Kayak's gone. So there's more than one person.
the side of the house, there was a person running toward us. I could barely process what I was seeing. He was fast. I couldn't get a good look at him, but he was big, definitely an adult. I pulled out my switchblade, ready to defend myself.
But to be fair, it kind of looks like you guys are the bad ones, no? Just saying, right? Kind of looks like you guys are the bad ones because you're the ones that went to their house, went into the window, and now they're gonna chase you, and now you pull a blade on them. And like, what do you exactly mean by abandoned? Like what do you mean by abandoned? Is it like, you know, it's again the context we don't have much of the context, but abandoned, like how abandoned? Because if it was really that abandoned, why would you, you know, tie the kayak to the dock? Especially since it's so close to your own house. Like, I get you guys explore abandoned buildings, right? But if it's in the same neighborhood as you, why would you? Okay.
expected James to do the same, but instead, he turned and jumped straight into the lake. Sneakers, hoodie, everything. I didn't even think, I just followed. The water was freezing, but I didn't care. I swam as fast as I could, trying to fight the burning sensation in my arms and legs. We swam toward the light from James' house, which looked like it was miles away. The swim felt endless, but on pure adrenaline, we made it. By the time we dragged ourselves onto James' dock, I thought I had hypothermia. I don't think I've ever been that cold in my life.
Wait, how would you explain the situation to the police, by the way? Oh, oh yeah, we're drinking and there's a light coming from this house, so we took a kayak and just kayaked it, and then we kind of went through the window, and then we heard a noise, so we ran away, and then jumped back in the water and swam back home. What are you gonna what can you do? Also, by the way, if the people were so close to your goddamn house, they could literally watch you go back. That now they know where you live. GG. They know where you live now. No, they know where you live now. Because you guys are in the same lake. They know where you live now.
We ran straight inside, locked every door, and called the police.
What can
It
you say
took them
there?
almost an hour to show up. It was honestly kind of outrageous. When they finally did, they went straight across the lake to investigate. They were over there for a while, but when they came back, they told us exactly what I expected to hear.
Nothing.
That there was no one. They confirmed this house had been abandoned for years. No signs of recent occupancy, no footprints, no gear, no personal belongings, nothing. Just an empty house.
Where's your kayaks?
They weren't happy with us. They gave us the whole "why didn't you call first" speech. James's parents were even more pissed when they found out. Let's just say I wasn't invited back to the lake house after that.
Lol.
James told me his parents were threatening to sue the town for allowing something like that to happen, and the police for refusing to investigate further. As for me, I still don't know what happened that night. I don't know who was in that house, or why they set that trap, or what they planned to do if we hadn't run. I don't think I want to. Most of my friends agree that it was a trap, and think that whoever was planning the whole thing got cold feet until the last minute. I really don't want to think about what would have happened if they had gone through with whatever.
I don't understand. Is that really a trap, though? Would that really be a trap? Maybe, but I don't really know. It really depends on the scenario, but again, the context of the lake has to be noted here. But this whole entire scenario is basically their fault, obviously, because they could have just ignored it or called the police, you know? And I guess, perhaps when you're kayaking to the lake, right? When you're kayaking to the house, knowing that there was light coming from there, and the house looks abandoned, it's kind of like, nah, let's tie the boats to the dock and explore. Like, you didn't even look around the house, you just straight up went to a window and climbed it. Like, not even saying hello, anyone need help? Hello? Didn't even say anything, just straight up silence, ran in. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate it. That was a very short story, but I mean, really just this image here has to be misleading, right? It has to be misleading because no smart person would see this house and be like, yeah, let's go inside it, knowing that there was light coming from it just a few seconds ago. All right, so yeah, whole situation could have been avoided. Don't know what to say about it. Again, context of the lake has to be noted, but yeah, the context of the lake has to be noted 100%. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate it. See you guys next time. We're gonna do this. We're gonna continue this story, and we'll do it next time. Yeah, just a little nighttime kind of vibe. Any other lasting comments before we leave? We did, yeah, not really. See you guys next time. Bye bye.